Well, my latest video is slightly different. I'm back in Craiova now, in Romania, but I spent a week in England and I wanted to show you the town, the city where I used to live, Winchester. Now, early in that video, I show you a statue of King Alfred, King Elfrid in Anglo-Saxon, the famous King of Wessex who defeated or came to an agreement with the Danes by marrying one of their princesses. And I refer to him as King Arthur. I must have had brain freeze that day, and I apologise for that mistake. I could have cut that from the video, but I think it's a nice statue, so I wanted you to see it. And think of that mistake as the one faulty knot that every Persian rug maker puts in his rug to avoid the blasphemy of perfection. London isn't very far away from Craiova, 3 hours by plane with Wizz Air, and Winchester is another hour to the southwest of London. So we're going to have a little tour of Winchester and its famous school, Winchester College, and a couple of pubs, the Wickham Arms and the Black Boy, and a wander around some of the sites. I hope you enjoy it. It's slightly different, and you'll see the differences between a Romanian city, Craiova, and Winchester, a very traditional English city, the former capital of England. So I do hope you enjoy the video, and I apologise for the mistake I made about King Arthur, who wasn't even English. He was Welsh, and he existed in legends only. Enjoy.
Bună ziua, bine ați venit. Suntem astăzi nu în Craiova, dar în Anglia, la Winchester. So I've come on a brief visit to the town city where I worked for 30 years, and I thought I'd show you around and see the differences between a British city and a Romanian city. So we're here early on Saturday morning and we're setting up the market, as you can see. And we'll have a look around the centre a bit later. But I'm going to take you to the place where I used to work for 30 years. My old house, maybe. We'll have a look. And how different it is in Britain. Although we still have pharmacies, Lloyd's Pharmacy, but we have the NHS, so you don't have to pay for any medical care in the UK, theoretically. Lots of pubs. There's a pub over the road, or a bar, the Picture and Piano, rather lovely building. And here's another one, Alfie's, with the evidence of what people had to drink last night. And we're coming down the main street to the bus station, which is just here, and opposite we've got the town hall, so the Primaria, which is yeah, another impressive building, Gothic style. Now, Winchester was the former capital of England before London, and William the Conqueror, after 1066, changed the capital to London because he didn't want the influence of the Anglo-Saxons to predominate. So he changed it. Another pub. Plenty of pubs in Winchester. If you like drinking, if you like going out, which is what British people do, then this is the place for you. Opposite we've got the Mayor's house, a ceremonial house where the Mayor of Winchester has meetings. He doesn't live here, Well, she doesn't live here because we have female mares as well, just like Craiova. And there's the crest of Winchester, and there's the house. And now we come down the high street, at the end of the high street, to the iconic statue of the great king of Wessex, which is where this area is. Wessex is the English equivalent of Oltenia. It's in the south. And there he is, King Arthur. Alfred. King Arthur, who saved us from the Danes when we were being attacked by the Danes. Because of course, like Romania, Britain has been attacked many times. And it seems an appropriate time for me to mention, I'm recording this on Saturday the 26th of February, and the truly appalling events going on in Ukraine. And what I've been, I suppose the one redeeming feature is the incredibly generous response of Romanians and of our Moldovan neighbours in agreeing to accept, I think in Romania, 500,000 refugees, women and children fleeing the bloodshed, and setting up food banks and offering money and apartments. And Romanians can be very proud of the way they've reacted. Britain, on the other hand, no. Ireland has waived visas for Ukrainians, Britain hasn't. And it makes me very ashamed that I hold a British passport, to be frank. Okay, another pub, Bishop on the Bridge. And now we're going down the river.
Well,
the River Itchen, which is very high at the moment. Lovely river. Which is famous for trout, pastrav, grayling. One of the finest rivers you can fish in England. Ancient remains of the Roman wall. The Roman wall that once surrounded this part of Winchester. We were obviously conquered by the Romans. I don't need to tell Romanians anything about the Romans. And some surveyors checking for fish. Morning. What you checking for?
Oh.
Just fascinated.
Oh, we're looking for old bottles.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, not fish, just
No,
bottles.
not fish, just bottles.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
At least it's not raining.
Yeah.
So I was wrong. They're not checking for. They're not checking for fish. They're checking for old bottles. Only in England would you find this. We're going past an old people's home on the right. Have a look. In a great location for the old people. They all have their own rooms and nice views of the river, and a central hall where they can congregate. St Mary Magdalene almshouses. So what we might call a camin de Batran in Romanian. Now, I was asked on one of my videos a few questions by one of my subscribers, so I'm going to try and take you through the answers if I can. The first question was, why why am I in Romania? Yeah, good question. Well, obviously I'm not in Romania at the moment, but I got married to a lovely lady and decided to retire. I was a teacher, but I was able to take retirement because I was old enough. Beautiful bridge over the river and a terrific house that belongs to a friend of mine, and a wonderful garden that he has overlooking the river. So we'll head on to the college where I taught. It's called a college. It's actually the oldest school in continuous existence in England. It was established in 1382 and it's still a school today. In Romania we would think of it as a liceu, so it's for older pupils. I used to teach pupils aged between 14 and 18. I used to teach. What did I teach? I taught French and German. So that was my job, and I enjoyed it very much because I stayed for 30 years in the same school, which is unusual. But I love living in Romania. I have occasional visits to the UK like this one, but most of my time is spent in Craiova. Lovely garden here, planted up by the municipality, by the town hall, with some fairly exotic looking ferns and plants. Now, the college is actually on holiday at the moment, so I'm hoping we can get in if I can use my influence, because I haven't been there for 3 years, so no one will probably recognize me now because a lot of staff have changed. But if they do, I can get a visitor's pass and we can go in and I can show you around the school, which is historic and interesting. Here's more of that Roman wall we saw. Original Roman wall made of flint. Okay, so why Romania, why Craiova? Well, I've explained that, haven't I? Why a vlog? Why do a vlog about Romania, life in Romania? Well, because I taught languages, I'm a communicator, and the most modern way of communicating is via a vlog. And if I can help people understand more in England, in the UK, about Romania, if I can promote Romania and Craiova, then that's great. And similarly, from this particular episode, if Romanians are thinking about coming to England, I want to show them a nice town in England, so you can find out what it's like to live here. This is an old castle, Wolvesey Castle. It's closed because it's a bit early at the moment. Some playing fields. And then we have the Bishop's Palace, where the Bishop of Winchester lives. There's a vacancy at the moment, but as you can see, he lives in some style. And there's the ruined palace just behind, and this is where the bishop lives and works, and he has his own private chapel. Okay, we're coming towards the college now, so we're on College Street. And this is the wall which borders the college, and we'll go in and see if we can talk the porters into giving me a pass so I can get in. So we're coming down the street. Oh, an old historic post box. GR, which means George. So that was put there during the reign of King George VI. Probably, might have been George V, his father. Normally you'd see ER, Elizabeth Regina, our current queen, who celebrates her platinum jubilee this year, 70 years on the throne. Amazing. The longest serving monarch in the world ever. Okay, we'll go and have a look at the Porter's Lodge, see if we can get access. This is the entrance to the college. Its official name, there's the Virgin Mary with the baby Jesus. It's the College of St. Mary. We'll see if we can get a pass. And here's the Porter's Lodge. Morning.
Good morning.
Is there any chance I could get a visitor's pass to just have a wander around inside?
Of course you can, David.
You're very kind, sir. Thank you. This is a very kind gentleman. He's helping me out. Do I need to sign anything?
No, David, I know
you know
who
me,
are,
do you?
so
You know me, okay.
We'll see you on the CCTV.
Oh, you're
and
tracking me round.
say, we know that.
Okay.
Funny bloke. He's
Many
around.
thanks.
I haven't opened up. Did you want anything open, David?
No. What's not open? Nothing's
Nothing
open.
At the moment, 'cause it's half
But
term.
no, I'll just have a wander around. That's fine. I just want to see some buildings and.
If you want to get in anywhere like chapel or anything, give us a or old cloister, give us a shout.
Old chapel would be nice, actually.
Well, by the time you finish wandering, then,
Yeah, I'll have a wander over there and I'll come back and do chapel at the end.
and
Yeah.
I'll unlock
Yeah.
seventh chamber door by then.
Okay.
I mean,
That's very kind.
no
Thank
problem.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye, David.
So here we are, and this is college, where some of the pupils live and work. We'll go this way. So this is a school, and it's the oldest school in England. And on the right here we've got the library, and the school has a museum. Some schools in Craiova have a museum. I know the Pédagogique Velovan has a museum. This is the museum, this building on the right. There's a real mixture of architectural styles here, for the simple reason the school is so old and developed and was extended and broadened. So you've got 16th century buildings on the left and 19th century buildings on the right. These are the teaching classrooms. And some of the offices, headmaster's office below, other teaching blocks above. As you can see, we're going to head COVID has led to one-way systems, so pupils access the classrooms one way and leave a different way. There's an assembly hall called school. We can have a look. It won't be open yet. Very kind porter Tony, who's going to open the chapel for me, so I can show you the chapel, which is where the religious services happen. This is now a Protestant school. When it was founded, it was a Catholic school, and then we had the Reformation. And there's the bishop who founded the school, William of Wykeham, who was Bishop of Winchester and Chancellor of England, so in charge of all the finances, and he founded the school. Okay, we'll head along. And we've got some playing fields here. I'm only showing you a small fraction of the school, a bit I can get into because it's too big. It's got something like 200 hectares of land. Like, I can't show you all of it. Okay, another question. Where have I visited in Romania? Well, I've very much enjoyed visiting Sibiu, Brukenthal Museum there, and it's the first place I tried ciorba de burta. In fact, the first and only time, because it wasn't to my taste. So, ciorba de burta and the Brukenthal in Sibiu. I thought it was a beautiful city. Brasov, equally fine city, and Poiana Brasov was lovely. By Herculane, I was a bit sad to see the way that it had fallen into disrepair, and I'm glad there are plans to repair it. Bucharest, obviously, I visited your parliament, and I love Lipscan, Cala Victorii, was very special. Orshova, and I've been to the Danube. And probably the most exciting trip I did with my wife was to the Danube Delta, to Murigiol, and to visit Svint Gheorghe. And I love the coast. I'm a big fan of the sea, so I love all of your resorts, especially for me Neptune Olymp and Venus, but I've also been to Constanța and Mamaia, and I think they're very special. This is the War Cloister, if you can see. It's a cloister that was built in 1923 to commemorate the war dead from the First World War, of the pupils. I think there are about 500 of them who died in conflicts, and obviously subsequent conflicts. Their names have been added. Beautiful flowers showing us that spring is on the way. It's a beautiful day, which is why I thought I'd do some filming today. The building here has a museum upstairs, and the school's motto, manners maketh man. Manners maketh man. Very fitting motto, school motto. This building is the school staff room, and I'll see if I can get in. If the code hasn't changed, I may be able to access the building. This is where the teachers come at break for coffee. So if you like, sala de prof. Now, I no longer teach here, but I can remember the code, but I won't show you. Oh, success. pleasant room with papers. Lovely garden. This is where you come at break for your coffee. Or on a Friday evening, you might come here for a drink. There's a little bar here, bar area. And your host comes here. See your pigeonhole, I think it's changed. Not even the code. We'll head back. How big is the school? About 700 pupils, all boys. But that's changing next year because the school's made a big decision to go co-educational, so there'll be girls joining from this coming September. School theatre, just here. And the art school for pottery, sculpture, fine art and printmaking. They do all of those activities if they wish. If you want to do art, you do art. And the central building which joins the two is a gallery space. So there's a gallery up there as well. Okay. So I think I talked about where I'd visited in Romania, and I obviously haven't visited many places. There's much more to see, and I can't wait. I think I'm going to Baie Felix this April, I hope, and I want to visit other parts of the north, Maramureș. I have been to Chișinău, which I greatly enjoyed and want to take my wife to. Through the gate we've got some more playing fields, and you can see the building just through on the right. That's a science school, so that's where the science lessons happen, and more playing fields here. So it really is a pretty big campus. I was asked what other jobs have I had. Well, not many. I read modern languages, and then I did a master's, and then I did a PhD, a doctorate in French social theory, really. So I've worked at university, I've worked in France at university, and I've worked here, and that's about it. And now I don't work anymore, really. So I'm retired and loving retirement. It's great. I've never been so busy. Where else have I travelled? Well, I'm getting on a bit, so I've been to quite a few countries, a lot of Europe, most countries in Europe, Africa. When I was a student, I took a flight to the Central African Republic, Bangui, and I came back overland, so I came back across the Sahara back to London, so more or less from the equator to London by all sorts of means of transport. I'd intended to come through Nigeria, but the Nigerian government had closed its borders because they were having a diplomatic argument with the UK at that time, so I had to go through Cameroon and Chad and Niger rather than Nigeria. That was an exciting journey and not one I would repeat. I've travelled around most of the countries of South America on a long trip. Again, I couldn't go to Argentina because we'd recently had a war with Argentina over the Falkland Islands, Las Malvinas, so I wasn't able to travel there. But otherwise I've been around. I've been to India, to the south of India, and got quite ill there. Right, this is the chapel. This is where pupils would come on a Sunday for a Sunday service. If they're not Christian, they don't have to come. They go to a different service from their own faith. This is known as cloisters. You can see the way that the walls are uneven. They bend slightly because it's not very stable. It's built on water, on reed beds. Beds of reeds hold this up. There's a little chapel in the middle called Chantry, which is really rather beautiful. And there's a special corner of these cloisters. The boys used to be taught here in the summer. You can see some of the graffiti maybe. Let's have a look. There used to be some very old graffiti. 1632. 1643. Boys scratching their names. Into the stone. Even at that age, boys were naughty. Because then it was only boys. This particular corner, I think, oh yes, it's called Everest Corner. And it commemorates George Mallory, whose body was never found, and may have climbed Everest in 1923, but there's no proof that he got to the top. And another former colleague, Mark Overstall, who a teacher of mine knew quite well, died aged 41 in the Himalayas, so that's known as Himalaya Corner. Okay, we're going to head back and have a look at chapel, if our very kind porter Tony has opened it up for me. They're always very helpful, the porters. They look after the security of the college and do a fantastic job. So we head back into the main court, and chapel is open. He's opened it up for me, so how kind. Let's have a look. So we've got a font here where infants would be baptized. here's the chapel itself, where boys would come. Magnificent organ at the back, and the superb roof. First example of ribbed vaulting in the country, building high to let in the light, and of course the stained glass and the altar. Most of the stained glass is new, is modern, it's been replaced. You can tell that because it's purple. They didn't have purple when the chapel was originally. They didn't have the capacity to put purple colour into glass. The windows were smashed during the Reformation, after the English Civil War. By the Roundheads. So the oldest parts, which they couldn't get to, are here, where you have no purple, as you can see. These are because they didn't get to this part. Okay. Well, that's been our tour of Winchester College. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll show you another more modern part of the college, part of Winchester a little later on. So here we are in the Black Boy, sorry, not in the Black Boy, in the Wickham Arms. Wickham Arms pub, founded in 1755, and this is one of the oldest pubs in Winchester. You can come here and have a meal, very nice meal. Nice fire. Good luck.
He's probably, because you know he's also, what do they call them?
He's a regular, Mr. Nutbean. Been drinking here for how long? 54 years. Incredible. Man and boy. And his dog.
Sit.
Alright, you scared of the camera? These are the old school desks from the college.
Ye old barman.
Oh yeah, ye old barman. Here's Paul, very nice
Hi guys.
bar manager. Have you had a chimney fire recently?
Not recently. Working on it. Right.
Funny enough, not since Jeff stopped drinking.
Memorabilia. And another room. It really is one of the best pubs in Winchester. Absolutely extraordinary. Well worth a visit if you're in Winchester. So here we are again in a rather lovely area of Winchester, and the entrance to the cathedral. And this used to be my old house where I lived very happily, and above the arch, which is Kingsgate Arch, is a church. And then through the arch we have a Tudor style house or two with timber frame. And then alongside the medieval barn, which belongs to a local school, there is Winchester Cathedral, Biserica, which is built in the English style. It was originally built by the Normans and then rebuilt, and we'll just have a look from the close at the side of the cathedral.
We didn't stop chatting, and then we were like, she said, wasn't the introduction to a really nice chat? Yes, yes, I know. That's right, yeah.
And we've got a glorious day, and spring is here because all the daffodils are out, narcis, and there's the cathedral from the side. Okay, well, we've seen the Wickham Arms, which is one of the oldest pubs. Of an almost equal age, if not older, is a pub called the Black Boy, so I'll take you there next and I'll give you a little tour. It's a very different style of pub. So here we are outside the Black Boy pub, the beer barrels, and there's a courtyard area outside. And the main entrance. Now this pub is very old, dates back to 16 something, and the name Black Boy is not derogatory or racist. It refers to King Charles II, whose nickname was the Black Boy because he had a very swarthy complexion. The owner also owns the Black Rat just opposite, which is a restaurant which held a Michelin star for several years, not at the moment. And he also owns Pensiona, a guest house here called the Black Hole. So the theme of black is the generic theme for these enterprises. Here's the Black Rat restaurant. There's the menu. And we'll see if we can get into the Black Hole, sorry, the Black Boy pub, although it doesn't open till 12 o'clock. But we'll see if we can make it in, and hopefully do some filming in there. So here we are in the Black Boy, one of the best pubs in Winchester. Fine range of English ales, flower pots, all local. Don Bock, local brewery. Black Drop, don't know that one. And Hotback from Salisbury. And we'll go and have a look because it's a very interesting pub, full of taxidermy, which for those of you who don't speak English is stuffed animals.
Well, taxidermy in Romania.
Taxidermy. So we got some. Oh, that's new. A real fire. An old medical cabinet. Go up. It really is a very unusual pub. The dining area. You can see that pubs in England are rather different than those in Romania.
Classy.
Oh, really? What Chinese place?
Do you know the Chinese supermarket next door to
Domino's.
Domino's?
Oh, yeah.
And one side of it is a tiny little sort of restaurant.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know that they do like drinks and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'll have to ask you the other years.
Probably, yeah.
And the outside, a garden area. With heaters for the winter. So if you're a smoker, you can come out here and have a drink. And some old underground signs from the metro in London, and a little hut that sells pizza and snacks in the summer when it's warm enough. So that's the Black Boy for you, one of my favourite pubs in Winchester.